Hey everyone, let's try to shoot a 4K video today. I don't know if my computer will render it or not, but I'm going to give it a shot. And what better book to give it a try would be Claudia Gray's newest young adult novel, Leia, Princess of Alderaan. This is another book in the Journey to the Last Jedi, and we'll get into how I feel about that title at the end of the video. So, Leia, Princess of Alderaan is about Leia. Of course, if it wasn't about Leia, it'd have to be a pretty damn good book for us to even consider reviewing this. So, Leia, 16-year-old Leia has to pass 3 trials in order to become her mother's successor to the throne. To do so, she ends up discovering her parents' secret, which is their creation of the rebellion. And it's about how she deals with it and keeping up a normal life, as well as trying to do the right thing. Leia in this book is really well written. It's a believable young Leia. She has a boyfriend. She goes through all sorts of things that girls her age go through. And also has to deal with these unnatural circumstances. Her parents are funding and leading a rebellion against the government. How would a kid react? It's pretty, in my opinion, an honest take on how Leia would feel about that. Does she want to get involved? Does she not? That's brought up in this book. Overall, I'm glad it didn't do certain things. Number one, I'm glad it didn't take the Rebel Rising approach and try to copy that formula, because it wouldn't have worked as Leia, because, well, let's face it, Leia has loving parents. Jin was raised by a crazy person named Saw Gerrera, who's in this book. Briefly. In fact, he's not really in it, he's referenced, and it's a nice reference. I knew it was going to happen, I knew they were going to reference the partisans and stuff, and the way they do it is pretty good. Her boyfriend in this, I absolutely like him as a character. He's also an Alderaan person. He loves his planet. He'd do anything for it. Just like what Leia would do. And that's goes good and bad. I won't get into that because that's heavy spoilers. But it's nice when an original trilogy character or a prequel trilogy character has a boyfriend or girlfriend or what have you that's not in the movies, and it's written well. I'll use the A.C. Crispin Han Solo trilogy. Han Solo's love interest in that was written so well that people wished that he had gotten with her instead of Leia. That's crazy. And in this book, I think it does a pretty good job with Leia's first love. It's really nice. The best thing about this book, though, is Captain Panaka is in this book. And I'm going to give you a little spoiler. He kind of starts to figure out that she's Padme's daughter. It's very interesting, and it's not so subtly played out necessarily, but it's written well. And of course, they find a way to end that storyline without causing contradictions, which I thought was really good. I also liked that, in a way, they stuck to the expanded universe, because of course, Panaka becomes a Moff, or a governor, so to speak. And he is loyal to Palpatine, which is similar to what he was in the expanded universe. So that was nice. Overall, this book is pretty good. But I have to get into my big complaint with this book. Why is it called Journey to the Last Jedi? So I get that this is a marketing campaign. They started with Journey to the Force Awakens. And I thought that they were going to lead up with direct tie-ins to The Last Jedi. And I guess there is one. There's a character that's supposed to be in The Last Jedi that's introduced in this book at a much younger age. Okay, but that's it. Phasma had more ties to The Last Jedi At least Phasma's going to be in the book. I mean, I guess Leia's in The Last Jedi. It's a tie into that. It's such a broad term. But the thing is, it makes people believe that it's this storyline, Leia's coming-of-age story, is going to be directly involved in The Last Jedi. I seriously doubt that. That's like saying that Aftermath was directly involved in The Force Awakens. It said Journey to The Force Awakens. But really, what do we get out of that? Oh, I guess we get Snap's backstory. Do you remember Snap? Yeah, he's not even called Snap in the freaking movie. Yeah. In fact, let's be honest. Empire's End didn't say, oh, it's Journey to the Last Jedi. He didn't have Jakku in it. I could have said it, Journey to the Last Jedi or Journey to the Force Awakens. No, they just do this because this year The Last Jedi comes out. I think the only one that's going to kind of tie into it is the Captain Phasma comic book that's out right now. They don't have the Poe Dameron comics saying Journey to the Last Jedi on them. Why does this have to say it? Is this just a novel thing? Like, really? You know, when Battlefront 2 Inferno Squadron came out, it didn't say Journey to Star Wars Battlefront 2. When Rogue One was coming out, nothing said Journey to Rogue One. Then again, nothing really came out that would... Oh, Catalyst. I guess that was a Rogue One novel. But that made sense. It introduced Krennic and Galen Erso's friendship. It introduced Lyra. It even introduced Baby Jin. It made sense to call that a Rogue One novel. Because it basically sets up plot for Rogue One. Basically. This doesn't do that. It's a good book. You know what? You could just take this Journey to the Last Jedi part off. It'd be a fine book. You didn't have Journey to the Last Jedi on Rebel Rising. That came out this year. Or Guardians of the Whills didn't say that. Let's see, what else? Inferno Squad didn't say that. Thrawn didn't say that. Aftermath Empire's End didn't say that. Nothing has said that until this book and Phasma are the ones that are starting to say that. And now there's a Luke Skywalker book coming out on Halloween. That's going to say Journey of the Last Jedi on it. There's going to be something with some characters from The Last Jedi. That makes sense to call that Journey to the Last Jedi. Because those are Last Jedi characters exclusively. They haven't been in anything else that I know of. Do you know of that? Comment down below if you know something about those characters. If they've been in another book or comic book or something. I don't know. I'm getting a little flustered now. But overall, this book's pretty good. Give it 4 out of 5 stars. It doesn't break my top 3 Star Wars books in the new canon, but it's pretty close. I'd call it number 5. I'd have to restructure everything and think about it. So, anyway, everyone, I hope you have a good evening.